Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another stream today, and joining us here in the chat as well. I just want to say hi to everybody, and we are here to do a Thursday deck building exercise for the event Battle for Meido, which is a Water Commander event. And I gotta say, this is one of my more preferred events in a while. I am having a lot more fun, and I think it mostly has to do with the fact that we can get these past heroes, and also because the support card from this event is just awesome. And so what I have here, actually, just based on the chat, and sort of offline before we even started, saw some requests for decks, so I decided to just kind of jump into there. But I do want to play a little bit of my decks here, kind of show you guys what we've got going on. And just saying hi to the chat there, we've got Joe Want to Know and Catherine McIntyre, Hanske, and 5:30 in the morning in Austria. Thank you so much for waking up early to watch the stream here. And we got Doug Carafini and Candy. We got Sandra, Chi, Paul, Judge of All, and Naya Dang. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream here. And Miss V3, just seeing you join in the chat here. All right, so I'm going to start by taking a look at Vicar Aymar Sr.'s deck here, and then we're going to switch back. I got a couple I'm going to show you, and also going to talk about some of the things that, one thing I want to clarify from the previous video I made, and then also some of the sort of updates on the cards that I did pull this time. All right, so I've taken a look at this particular deck, which was requested, and taking a look at the Bluetooth deck here. And what I have to say here is I'm seeing that you have Haldor here, and I think Haldor plays a good, good part in the deck in that it creates 4 power gems. But I think that you are sort of losing out on the bonus attack because it's a Slayer card that isn't being boosted by anything. And you have 1 copy of the Daihomaru, but I think that you might actually be better off if you added a second support card in here. In other words, add your second copy of Daihomaru. So you have 2 here. I think that it's going to be more beneficial for you to actually put that in there. And, you can swap out the relics here. The reason being you want to actually get your power up to go to max faster. And so that you're actually going to deal a little bit more damage because with the additional, 300% bonus from Daihomaru, you're going to get more damage there rather than having Haldor. So give that a try. And otherwise, I think based on your cards here, this is the ideal setup. And I would encourage you also to try and play a little bit of the Dust Lottery and see what can you get from the Generation 2, because that's actually opened up my deck a little bit as well. So just taking a look there, and I think that I like what I see. Just try putting in the second copy there. And just taking a look again, we see some new people joining the chat here. So we've got Peta and Nano, as well as Mount Fillmore, BBX, and Chinita Vice. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are having a good event so far. Hoping everybody's having fun, and hopefully you guys have also gotten some good luck with the Dust Lotto. And Judge of All, you got the full deck this time, so congratulations. Give you a little bit of update on where I'm at right now. So Shopaholic, I like the name. I think the problem with Ultimate is depending on how you're running it, you will probably need to get the Water Scepter. You really need the Water Scepter to boost the heal capability of your of the support card as well as the ultra rare card. So if you take a look here, we can take a look at the description of the card, right? So what the Daihomaru does is it will create, it will basically add to the power up, buff, and power up actually will heal for 20% of team recovery. So you need to take a look at the recovery value of your entire team. Now the thing is, Daihomaru is a warrior and it's a giant type. And if you take a look at the recovery, it's not really that high. And I don't know about the other cards, but basically you need to take a look at the cards that you have in your deck, and you really need to get the Water Scepter, show you right here, to really benefit, to reap in the benefit. So this is a level 40 Scepter, and it increases all of your hero recoveries by 670. And so by doing that, and then if you have 2 of them, that's actually going to be ideal. Then when you reach the maximum, power up value of 15, that's when you're going to survive more against the ultimate boss. So that's going to be the trick there. So you're going to basically give up a little bit on the damage, but you're going to actually gain more from the heal, which is going to be really helpful for ultimate bosses. Now, I don't know what level it's going to be useful up to. At some point, you're going to need a passive healer as well. So I think what you can use is, for example, a water commander type. So if you wanted a healer, one of the ones you can also try using is Tanu the Cunning. So if you throw Tanu the Cunning in there, you might try to you might survive a little longer. Now, the question also is whether you're going up against the ultimate boss or the Crusade ultimate levels, like 5-4. So with 5-4, you want to use Delayed, but you can't go up against 5-4 yet because it's not open. So I'm assuming you're going up against the actual ultimate boss. So once you get to like level 10, 11, 12, it starts hitting harder and harder. You're going to really need the heal. So I don't have the full deck right now, although I can get it. So if you take a look at where I'm at right now, I do have enough dust to craft both of them, but I've been sort of sitting on it and I've been mulling it over all day. I'm not sure if I want to spend the dust, just because I have a couple of teams that are already doing really well. So given that it's a commander event and I can do quite well and I'm having fun with the deck, I just feel like maybe I want to save my dust for the Water Slayer event, since Slayer events is where the ultimate form is going to help out a lot more. So that's just kind of, personal, sort of personal decision I have to make here. And so Mount Felmore, we'll take a look at your deck after a little bit. And so now onto the, sort of where I'm at right now with my card pull. So I talked about this in my previous video yesterday. And so there's a few more since I've showed it. So I've actually got the Razor Nymph, and I got the Guardian of Gaul, which is new, and I pulled 2 copies of Mummy. And so these are all there. And then I got my 3rd copy of Goddess of the Surf. So I'm going to show you how this now works with this deck. It's really, really great. And some of the other ones that I didn't show, I got Aurora Materna. I also got Starless Nighthawk. I got 2 of those actually. And I found this, Stellar Rabbit, Infernal Squall. Just basically, all the cards that I've always wanted, I was able to find it at this point. And so it's just, these are cards I think is going to be, really, really, just really helpful. And I'm going to go ahead and show you one of the decks here. So this is sort of like an upgraded version, if you will, of the Beach Party deck that I showed yesterday. But you can kind of see here where, let's go ahead and take a look here. So you can take a look to see this deck. It's just so much better now with sort of this setup here. I just want to make sure I don't need this because I don't have that card in there. So I'm going to put in water. And let's go ahead and go up against a boss right here. So we're going to just go up against a regular boss, and let's help out our... let's go ahead and go up against the legend so it doesn't get taken out right away. And let's try this. All right, so take a look at the chat here as well. We've also got Petacurry looking for the deck. Most of it is Relic you struggle with, that you're struggling with, okay? And I will take a look as well right afterwards. All right, so I showed this with 2 Goddess of the Surf last time, and I think, I'm going to try to see if I can get a 4th one. But with 3 here, I'm just going to kind of show you how this is all working out. So having 3 of the Goddess of the Surf and then 1 single copy of, Summertime Aphrodite, you can see just how many Power Gems actually are being formed there. And so doing a Power Gem swap here, my single damage dealer is going to be Biolume, and she's able to deal 17 billion by herself. So pretty good, not too shabby for a single 1-key hit using 4 Generation 2 cards and just a single copy of a Master Collection card from, I think, 20 weeks ago. And so I'm pretty happy with this output there. So having 3 of them definitely is going to help out. And given that we have a lot more of these, evolution relics now, if you pull her, I would recommend actually leveling her up. She is going to be very helpful in all Water Commanders situations, especially if you pair her up with just a single copy of, even just 1 would be fine, Summertime Aphrodite. But if you don't pair her with the Summertime, I actually tried replacing this with a copy of Daihomaru, and it didn't quite work out so well. And so this is sort of the ideal setup. I'm curious how it's going to turn out with 4 Goddess of the Surf. So I'm going to have to see if I get lucky there. And let's see. Joe wants to know, you want to try? I also want to say thanks for finding and claiming with Spiral Ladder. All right. So great. Glad to hear. So let me know how you do with the with the spire there. Okay, and and just also I didn't get a chance to show you guys, but I finally got my Ascended Ray deck. So this is going to be the deck I'm going to be rocking in the next Fire event, Fire Commander or Fire Slayer, whatever it is. I'm definitely going to be putting this to spin. I didn't get a chance to use this during the Bounty Hunter event, unfortunately, because I had to wait until this event to get all of the Pentart gems. Like I said, I got my VIP specifically for this purpose because legends have become so much better now. So I'm pretty excited about this. So I will have a video on that. Whenever I get around to actually using it. And Don Lawrence, welcome to the stream, and also Duppy Conqueror, just joining us here today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into another deck here. So we're going to take a look at Chaplain, Alice, Oxy. And so let's take a look and see. I think you asked for the backup deck, right? Let me take a look here. I think what you wanted to check out is the backup deck. And I will... so you're using 3 Daihomaru and you have Sapphiron. Or actually, no, you have Cerulean. So Cerulean will actually upgrade, I think, 2 to start, and then it goes up. Yeah, so it upgrades 2, and then with additional Ancient Intensity, then it'll go up. And so your issue is that you are dying too early. I think that's what you're saying. And so the problem here is you don't have enough health and you're not healing quickly enough. So this is where having a water scepter is going to be really helpful. And so let's see if you have anything for water. And so you don't have a scepter. So let's see if you have a cane here. So the way that you want to do this is you want to take your cane, and then so you have a light scepter and you have 2 of those. So it's the same idea. You need to take a scepter or a cane and then upgrade it to a water scepter. Then your team is going to survive better. Like one thing that I'm noticing is with 1 key, if you're going up against legend bosses, after a while you will lose a lot of health. And so that is going to help. Now I'm also curious if there's a better option than Cerulean. Now I understand that Cerulean actually does give 10 times bonus, I believe. But I think that I'm just curious what other cards you might have that we can consider putting in there. So what I think would be better for you is if you put in Procambrias. So anytime I see Procambrias in the deck or in the collections, I would actually prefer if you put that in. So putting in the Procambrias allows you to, basically increase the damage taken by the bosses. And so you're going to get a lot more damage output with that team than with Cerulean in here by a large margin. Not only that, you are sacrificing a slot for a Generation 2 hero that isn't going to deal a lot of damage. And so based on this team here, I think your best bet would be to put in Procambrias, and that would significantly help out. And if you need sort of the timing, I can sort of show you that as well. So I'm going to show you the timing of how to use the Procambrias while we're playing, in the stream here. And so let's see if there's anyone else there. And so far we've got Nano. Hope it's okay. I'm calling you by that name, Nano. It just feels that I'm not sure if the X is meant to be silent. And I wonder if... Okay, so casing doesn't matter, so that makes it easier. All right, so Nano, let's take a look at your deck here, and let's see what you are rocking. And so that's a Slayer deck. And I think that this particular Water Commander event, I just feel like there's a lot more options. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I definitely think that I am a lot more options open for me, okay? And so I see that you got Procambrias and you got Melios and Biolume, so basically the trio from that deck there, and then you've got also, you've also got Campos. And then you have 1 copy of Summertime Aphrodite. And let's see if that might be the main deck that you're using. It looks like that might be it. Okay, so let's take a look here and take a look and see what we've got. And I see that you're also using a water relic there. So I think one of the questions you had was what to do with relics. And so let's take a look and see what we might do. So you've got the Metharm project. Okay. And you've also got the Mega Sentinel. So I feel like maybe I'm looking at the wrong team, potentially. Okay. So to be honest, like I think that you have some options here, and I want to take a look at your team again and see what you're using. So I'm assuming that's not the right team there, because based on what I'm seeing, you should have a different team that you're using. So this is it. Okay. So there you go. So you got 3 Daihomaru, and then you got Goddess of the Surf plus Metharm Project. So that's not bad. So if you want a faster build, if you wanted to go a little faster, then I would take out 1 copy of Daihomaru, and then put in the Mega Sentinel. So just, give yourself a little bit more damage output there. But otherwise, I think that's good. Now, relics wise, so you've got a Water Claymore, so that is going to help there. But oops, I guess I need to do this way. So let's take a look to see if we have any better options for you for this. So you have already a special one, and Water Commander, you've got 3. So I think you've put all 3 of them already in there. So you put all 3 of those, and Water Claymore versus Keda's Bow, I guess is the question. And I don't think you have Keda's Bow. So yeah, I think relic wise that also looks good. So I like this team. I like what you got there. The only question is if you want us to be a little bit if you don't mind the speed, then taking out 1 would be good, but otherwise 3 Daihomaru will be a lot faster, and I think it's going to be good. So I like that team. Like I don't have anything to add necessarily. I think that's actually a pretty good team there. So let's go ahead and play one, just to kind of show you how you really should be using this. I think let's go ahead and use this. So which team am I gonna do? I think I wanted to show you the Procambrius, right? So again, remember, like Procambrius is a Procambrius actually has a timing that works relatively well with Daihomaru, in that as long as you remember the activation order, you'll be fine. And because you have to wait 4 turns for the power up to expire anyway, you can always basically stack them. And what I'm going to do is I don't think I'm going to be able to survive all the turns necessary. And so what I'm going to do is I should have just activated there. But I'm going to go ahead and let this expire. But like before I had activated it, no, actually, I did that correct. I activated it, and then basically now you activate Procambrius. And so now the turns are going to align well. And man, this is actually terrible lag. So we're going to let this expire. And with 6 power gems, and I think with what I've got there, I think it should be okay. And so we got 1 more turn here. I just need to probably do like this. And see and hope I don't lose any more power gems. Okay, so now we're going to create all of these power gems, and Procambrius will be active 1 more time, and this is when you want to go ahead and activate everything else, right? So you get 2 stacks of constricted on the boss. You're going to deal significant amount of damage this way. Like I don't even have this maxed out. We can see how much damage we can deal with a single key here. Yeah, so 47, that's like about 80 billion damage just with that, and that is because of Procambrius. Because Procambrius was activated twice, that's why I was able to deal that much more damage there. So that's why I always recommend it, and if you have it in your team, definitely pair it with your Daihomaru so that you can increase your damage output by a ton there. Okay, so let me see. Let's take a look at sort of the chats here. Zuzu Mac Duck, excellent video again. Please take a look at Garsing of Steel and propose a deck for Ultimate Crusade bosses. Okay, we can take a look. And Gary Castle, Sir Eric Blackheart. Yep, we will jump in there and take a look soon. And let's see. Okay, so I think I'm relatively caught up there, and I think I got to everybody. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to clarify while I'm here in the stream with all of you, I made a statement yesterday when I made a video. And basically, what I said was you can pull 2 copies of support cards. And I think my statement made people actually search and search and search for the card. Basically, this is what happened. I took a look at this bottom part, Water Essence 3, and it had a requirement of a 4-star Daihomaru. And what I did was I had already, evolved all of my support cards at the time, and this is when they had given that little notice saying, "Hey, we took away all of your gifts, and here's 4 more." And I thought, "Oh man, I didn't use it in time to upgrade everything." And then I thought I had all of them. Then when I quickly looked here, for some reason I thought that the 4-star requirement was actually the reward itself. And so I was thinking, oh, I better not collect it. And I already got 1 support card plus another one from the collection. So I got completely confused. And because of that, I confused the viewers. So apologies. Hope this clears it up. I did pin the comment in my video as well. So no, we do not get a second copy of support card. Unfortunately, you do have to go through the support pack for that. And so what else is there in terms of the decks here? So also just kind of talking about the quest here. I don't know how you guys feel about the quest, but I feel like they're actually a lot easier this time around. Like if you take a look here, we couldn't clear 3-2 just yet, but solo, I'm already on 4 of 4 for solo bosses. I mean, like the total number that you need is 260. I am at 98 right now, so I'm already on pace to completing that pretty easily, and I didn't play that much. I've actually been just doing more deck building, to be honest with you, like just experimenting and playing a lot more on that side. Guild bosses, I typically am a little bit slower there because I'm a bad guildmate, but we're getting pretty far along there as well. Finishing all my overkill, I'm almost done with the ultra kill, and just bad timing for secret bosses, and I have not tried any ultimate boss just yet. So overall, I think that it's actually not too bad. And then if the trend continues, they're also going to give you a lot of quest points from the daily quests. So towards the end, you should get a lot more, and we're also going to get Punisher boss quest points. And so I think overall, I feel like it's actually not too bad. So I'm at 4,120 right now, and I didn't play a ton. And I think the maximum that you can get right now is 10,000. And so, after a day, I think that was actually pretty good. I've never gone that fast in all of the quest events since it started. So I feel like it's getting easier. It's getting less grindy for me. Murder's Phaser, did I go over a team for Ultimate Boss? Not yet. But we will talk about what to do. And Casey Freeman, do you think any of the Commander Honor cards would work this event? And yes, so I definitely think so, because I do have a deck that is built around it, and I'm going to take this opportunity before I jump into anybody else's deck. Let's take a look at how I would build an Ultimate Boss deck. And so what I'm going to do here is we're going to go into the collection, and we're going to search for this card, right? So we're going to go into the codex, and it's going to be a water card, and this is the one that you want to get. So you should know what it is. It's going to be the Statch Harbor Brute. So get 2 of those. You can farm them in the 1-5 campaign. And I'm not going to go through this now because my team is full. I'm going to have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to dust. But if you get 2 of those, then the other cards I would actually put in there, I'm going to go ahead and show you. The water honor cards are actually going to be perfect here. So because you can get... You'll want to use Wende, and then if you can pull Aurora Materna. So Aurora Materna is also available is also available in the Dust Pull. And so what you could do here is keep in mind there is no time limit. And so if you get 2 copies of support card, the turn delay card, You may choose to use Aura, although you may actually be better off doing either this, or you might actually want to have a Skuka be the one to be a leader, and then you can put in Haldor in here as well. But you want to have Gen Spawner, right? So you could have a couple of copies of a Skuka, and then basically just use Wende to to nuke down the damage. And so this is going to be a similar deck that I showed in the last Dark Slayer, I think the Dark Commander event for the Ultimate Boss, where you would use Mondo Nighthill, and then you would use, Nighthawk, and then 2 copies of the turn delay cards. This should work for the high level Ultimate Boss. I'm gonna try that out, and then we will also have a video out if I could try that. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back up. I think there was someone else that had asked for help here, and Paul Hicks, is the Ice Queen a good card to evolve for this event? It's okay. So there's the Tilda the Ice Queen. So what it does, I think it will actually I think it's Spirit, right? I can talk about this right now. So I think it's a Water Spirit card, and what it does is it lowers defense of the bosses, right? And let's see here. So Ice Spirit is giving to... So Tilda Frost Princess, is that the one you're talking about? Or the Ice Queen? Which one's the Ice Queen? Oh, this one, the Ice Queen. So the Ice Queen, let's see. So basically you're guaranteed to have 2 Power Gem 3s. I think 2 Power Gem 4s if you level it up. So let's see if that's the case. No, that's Nicole. So I think if you don't have a better option, then you can go with her. But I would say that it's an older card that doesn't generate quite as many cards, and it's a Generation 2, so you're not going to get as much damage. So like you ultimately want your Generation 2 cards to either provide more Power Gems or a way for you to collect all of them, like a Gem Fall or a Gem Rain. So I think if you have a lot of resources you want to try out, definitely go for it. But otherwise, I wouldn't bother with that particular card. All right, so let's see. We've got Skippy's Own, right? Skippy's Own 26. Let's take a look at your cards. So I was just telling people in my chat today, I'm actually having a lot more fun. I'm just spending more time, just coming up with like different, 2 things. I'm actually spending a lot of time actually pulling cards from the dust, and then whatever I find, looking for a way to actually, put them into the deck. And I'm having a lot of fun enjoying that. So I am definitely enjoying myself a lot more in this event. Finding myself, not as worried about placement, but just the fact that I have a team I can actually get, 500% overkill against the bosses. I actually, am doing okay in the event as well. All right, so let's see what we've got here. So Skippy Zone, you've got the Beast Breakers, and you've got the True Luminescence, and so I think that you shouldn't have any problems. And I think that combining your single copy of Daihomaru plus your Swelling Titan, you're going to be still getting your power up pretty easily. And so I would imagine you wouldn't have any problems with your deck here. So I'm taking a look to see if there's any questions here from the chat. Just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. It's the Relic. Okay. So it's the Relic that you're struggling with, as I see that you've got 2 copies of the Relic here, and you have the True Luminescence, so that works. And I guess the question is whether or not you have some other better option rather than Water Skull. So let's take a look at your gears, right? So I think you definitely will have a better option than, like, even putting a second copy of Ketis Bow is going to be okay. Now this is going to be Water Giant and Water Demigod that you have on the team, and so if you don't have those Water Relic, I would just put in, honestly, a 4-star Ketis Bow. That's going to be better than a single copy of that. The skull there. So that's what I think. And aside from that, your relics seem fine to me. You shouldn't have any problems. surviving and also dealing a lot of damage. So just take that out, put in the second water relic, and you should see your damage improve from that team, even though I expect it's already doing pretty well. All right, Dark Summoner Oriana. Let's take a look at your deck. Dark Summoner. And, I just want to say, kudos to all of you guys here. A lot of you have been with me on these streams for a while now, and I'm noticing that your decks are just getting better and better. And so I'm really not going in and doing a ton of work here. I literally am going in, taking a look and say, yep, everything looks good, and we move on. And so, just this is just, I think that was sort of the goal here for me to share what I know and to help you guys tweak a little bit. So at this point, it's really just a little bit of optimization rather than actually changing your deck around. So I'm really happy to see that. All right, and I think what you wanted to check out is the Dumpster Fire deck, which is right here, 3.0 Dumpster Fire. And again, I see Cerulean in here, and you've got a copy of the Surf Goddess. So is Cerulean the best choice here? That's always going to be a question. So you can upgrade 2. So you would basically upgrade 2 of them to 4 Power Gen 4s. And honestly, if you're going to use Cerulean, I'd rather you use Josephine Quick Draw. So every time you attack with Josephine, you're going to get Power Gen 4s. And so what you can really do is right before your power up expires, do a match and also make sure that her resilience is on. So what you're going to do is you're going to be able to create a bunch of Power Gen 4s there as well. So adding Josephine Quick Draw in your deck right here, you're going to see a significant uptick in your damage output. And I think that is going to be noticed. And also the thing that I'm thinking about too is with a single copy of Daihomaru, it's going to be a lot slower if you're trying to build up to 15. And so this isn't necessarily going to be a quick 1-key deck. So if you wanted the 1-key deck, you may actually just consider not putting in you might consider, you could use it, but then I would take out Cerulean and I would just put in another 3-0 damage dealer there. So it depends on how you want to play. Like there's a lot of different play styles there, but definitely Quick Draw's Josephine over Cerulean is going to be my pick. And I think that for this case, Keita wouldn't be a bad choice if you wanted a quick 2-turn damage. So basically you would activate everything and then attack on turn 2. Then I would say that you got a lot of choices here. Like you definitely play around with all of these cards, and even putting in a second copy of Summertime Aphrodite would also be another option there. But I think in this case, just putting in Keita or putting in another 3.0 commander card will give you a little bit better damage on turn 2. And if you want a longer turn, putting in a second copy of Daihomaru or putting Josephine Quick Draw. So give that a try and let me know what you think and how that turns out. Okay, let's see. A critique of the current deck, Dark Arcane X. So this is going to be a critique. All right. So Dark Arcane X. And honestly, I feel like that's what I've been doing recently too. I'm doing more critiquing rather than really changing things around. That's what I was saying. And that's really a testament to what you guys have been doing. So I'm really, it's really cool to see. Let's see, is there a specific deck there that you're using? I guess event deck right here. So you're using Vendor. So Vendor is, I think, a noble killer. No, not noble. It's a human, what is it again? I forget. Noble Killer, yeah, that was right. And so you're not gaining anything there, but you are going to get 3 Power Gen 4s. And you have Meido, and you have 2 copies of Daihomaru. I want to see if you have another deck that I might be missing here. Because I think you definitely can, I believe you might be able to benefit from more depending on the cards that you have. So let's take a look. So you have 2 copies of Daihomaru and you have Procambrius. So I think that's the first thing I would want to recommend is that you put in Procambrius, because you're going to get the Power Gem spawns from Daihomaru, and adding Procambrius is going to help out a lot. And then the other cards that you can put in there. So Summertime Aphrodite really gets most of her benefit when you pair her with Goddess of the Surf. So if you're gonna use Summertime Aphrodite, I would recommend that you actually go ahead and evolve Goddess of the Surf here. It's going to you're going to get some added benefit there, but put in Procambrius, and take out the Timeless Lover. And is it the Timeless Lover? Take him out, and then put in Procambrius there. Your damage output is going to be increased a ton just by doing that. So Vendor. So take out Vendor, and I would put in Procambrius there. Even though you're losing out on the Power Gem Force there, I think it's going to be well worth it. And so that's the one replacement. And then the other replacement that I would recommend here is going to be... So I think you have 2 copies of Daihomaru, and then you have Procambrius. You might actually then try and do Daihomaru, Procambrius, Summertime Aphrodite, and Goddess of the Surf. Okay, so you have 3 main damage dealers, but that should be sufficient. Or if you wanted to, then put in Meido, or you can put in Campos, although I don't really like Campos as a card. It doesn't really do much except it just sits there and deals damage. It's more fun to have something you have more control over. So give that a try. See if that helps. I think you're going to see your damage output go higher because of that. Okay, and I think Duppy, you are next. You wanted to ask for your guildmate. So let's go and take a look. Shobin Sparks. And before I do this, I'm going to go down and take a look at the chats again. I want to make sure that I am not missing anything here. Would the Ice Queen and the Volleying one be good for the events? I'm not sure the Volleying one revives. I can't remember. Maybe. I mean, like, all of these cards, they all have a place, and the Volleying one you can only get from the 4-star hero pool, and I don't have him just yet, so I can't really say, and I have never played with him, so unfortunately I don't know. And Dark Arcane, last week when okay, yeah, so I took a look already, and me, myself, and 1100, you have the delay I'm looking for. The game name is Prince Chuck You Farley. Okay, we will take a look at that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Duppy's message here, and I feel like I typed in something wrong there. So Duppy, so it's lovely Shobin Sparks. I missed that part. All right, so lovely Shobin Sparks. Not sure if you're in the stream with me tonight or not, but hopefully Duppy will be able to tell you the timestamp in which to take a look at this video after it's done. And so let's see, I'm going to assume that this is it because I see this is the water deck, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed. So rank 21, so you're just starting out and you just unlocked your 3rd relic space, and so your team is actually looking pretty good here. You have Daihomaru, and I know it's going to be difficult to level up without the gift. So hopefully your guildmates are giving you gifts to level up Daihomaru, because it's going to be really helpful. And if you are willing to get a 2nd copy starting out, I think that's going to be a good investment to get a 2nd copy of this card, because you will be able to use it in all Water Commander events. Even Water Slayer events will be useful for you as well. So definitely would be what I recommend here. And so since you're starting out, I would say put a Skuka in over Priestess Queen. Priestess Queen will get you, I think a single Power Gem 3. Whereas a Skuka will get you more and more gems spawned over time. So you can sort of play around with that. Cerulean is a good choice because you do have a Mega Sentinel as well. So you got 2 copies of Daihomaru, and you also have a Goddess of the Surf. So yeah, so these are going to take time for you to evolve there. And as soon as you can, what I would say is, for now, you should change your leader. So you should at least use Daihomaru as the leader. It's 5-star right now, so it's not going to quite give you the 300%, but it'll give you 225% for all of the commander water commander cards. So I would switch the leader there. As soon as you get Daihomaru to 6 stars, you're going to get them at full 100%. And also, I would take out Priestess Queen in this case, and I would simply put in the Goddess of the Surf, because even though it's at 3 stars right now, if you take a look at Goddess of the Surf, it's at 3 stars. You are still going to get a bunch of Power Gem 3s. So it for every 20 gems destroyed. So, you know, basically you're going to get, will it be 1 or 2? I think 3 star is not quite as great, but it's a gem destroyer. So if nothing else, this will act just like a Priestess Queen, but you're going to get the gem destroyed. And when you pair her up with your copy of Summertime Aphrodite, when she activates, Goddess will mimic it. So what I would do is I would switch it so Daihomaru is the leader, take out Priestess Queen, and then put in your copy of Goddess of the Surf, and you should have much better damage output from that. Okay, so that's what I would recommend, and looks like you're just starting out. So welcome to the game. Hope you're having fun. Play a lot of campaign, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm always here to help. Okay, so let's take a look and see if there's anyone else. Queen Femme Fatale, am I going to craft the Master Collection card and the Ultra Rare cards? I don't think so, because I have some pretty good decks. I have some pretty good decks that I can use to take out... I can get 500% really easily, so I'm going to do that next. So I'm not going to spend the dust there. I'm just going to wait. And I see Shalene in the chat. So hello, and Jonathan Barber, Chromasux, and Adam Ortego. Just seeing your names here in the chat here. So... welcome to stream. Let's see. I've been working on my Water Slayer deck. I'm answering BBX right now. What infinity should I go for? Which commander infinity? What infinity? Do you mean affinity for commander? I would say depends on your favorite types. For commanders right now, I think that both earth and water. Water is a really good one. Like water commander is a really fun one. Fire's been pretty good as well. I think all of them actually have been quite good. The only one I think would have been a little bit difficult if you don't have the right cards, the light one. But that's just me. I think for you, like if you're working on a Water Slayer deck, working on a water commander deck may not be a bad idea, because you can have synergy. You can kind of work, you can kind of work them together. You can always put in a Slayer card into your commander cards, and you can work out as well. So Chanita Vice, welcome to the chat. Okay, so I know that I'm not going through everyone right now, and I hope that my phone will hold up. I'm gonna try to go up against a couple of bosses right now. What I need to do is I wanted to show you the ultra boss, the ultra kill boss, what I do with it. So let's see if I have any saved up right now. I don't think I do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly go through some bosses right now while I talk to you guys. So we'll use this chance to chat a little bit in the stream, and I'm going to use my one-turn deck here. I think I showed it to you in my video as well. So again, try to build a one-turn deck. It's going to help a lot with just progressing through your events and not feel like you're going to have to wait for, more turns. And also you don't want to accidentally kill the boss too quickly. Okay, so basically we're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go through 6 bosses total before my the ultra kill boss, and then we will go through and talk about the rest of your decks as well. And let's see. So there's another Water Commander Squad title, Experiment Team by Nano. I'm sorry I've missed it. I might try and go back to it afterwards as well. And so I also see Dawn Lawrence. So you want to check, and the in-game name is Huntress Elisa Minra. Yep, I will take a look at your deck after this. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to play a little bit. So this is basically how I've been spending my time. I build a turn 1 deck and I just kind of go with it because it allows me to keep a little bit of my sanity when I'm trying to push on bosses. I do this with the guild boss as well. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll spend maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes just straight, just boom, 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 go through all my bosses, and having a one-turn deck really, 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 really helps. And notice here, I'm also just going up against a regular boss rather than a legend solo boss. It's because I don't really mind, losing a little bit on the damage output for me is simply just I want to be able to get through these quickly so that I can get the points, or I can just go get the number of bosses I needed for the quest points. And really, ultimately, I think I'll get in. I'll place well enough with the points I get from doing that. And also, Region Gor Carmel, you will be second on the list here. I have not forgotten you guys. And let's just catch up now on the new chat. So, Sondi Muliadi, welcome to the stream. You're just, we talked to a few people, we did our usual thing. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make sure that I can spawn an ultra kill boss, and then we're going to take it out with the team I'm using. And you can, I was actually really surprised at just how much damage I can deal. But like I said, ultimately, it just came down to the MVP, which is Procambrius, and I can't forget about the fact that we have this amazing mechanic, power-up / grail, what have you. I'm used to calling it the grail because it was the very first one in its event, but that is the most free-to-play friendly mechanic I have ever seen. So I'm gonna put, I'll go on record and say, of all the decks, of all the mechanics I've seen, this is a single favorite one that I can say that I've seen. Hands down. This is the one where if you don't want to spend, you don't have to. Get 2 copies of support cards and you're well on your way to taking down any boss that you want. And, you can't say that with any other free-to-play decks, right? So it's just, personally, something I'm really happy about. All right, so we're going up against a level 209. And I don't want to waste my time here on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the main deck. And you can see how much damage I can do. I'm worried about killing it accidentally. It's got 16 billion health, but I kind of needed to deal enough damage to get the true overkill. I think I could have with 1 key. I didn't need 3 keys there. So I'm going to be careful here. I don't want to take out the boss too quickly because with 3 keys, I can actually deal quite a bit of damage just by doing gem swaps. So let's see how much damage that is. Yeah, so that's basically 11 billion damage right there. And so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful and see how this goes. So I'm using 3 copies of the support card here. And I'm going to go a little gingerly. And I may actually choose, depending on how things go. Yeah, I might just need to let this time out. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this now. And so that I don't actually take it out by accident. That would be a shame. Right? And so we're going to let this time out. And I think what I also want to do, though, I can still do gem matches to get my skill point higher. And so this way, when I activate my Bioloom, I would still get more power gems there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and activate everything. And with 3 copies of, Daihomaru, I could still almost fill up the board here. And so this is not the true amount of damage I can actually deal, but you can sort of see, where I'm going with this. Like when I get the full stack, I can deal approximately 600 billion, damage with this. And so let's just go. We have one more, but I think I've sort of shown the point, and so I'm gonna probably go back and take a look at someone else's deck here while we wait. And so let's see. I think I have a question here. How do I get around dodge? I don't. I just, if I miss, I miss. If I miss, I miss. I just kind of start again. But I usually deal enough damage that a single hit would take it out. And then there are times when it doesn't, then I just go back and try again. So that's basically how I deal with dodge. I just don't even bother with the dispel for it. And Adam Ortego, so I missed your deck. ID Adam033, so I apologize for that if I missed it. I am going to go back and take a look at your everybody else's cards there. And I think that there was 2 people I said I was going to go to. I'll go right after this one. And Con William Deep, it's hard to spend 16.8k of each dust to get the ultimate form. Yeah, so that's my problem right now. So let's see. You have the ultimate form, but you wanted to see if there's a better option than Bioloom because of how long it takes to get max skill points. So the reason why it takes a long time is because you need more Water Commander relics. And right now I see that you have 2 Slayer relics in there. let's see. Oops, gear. So the problem is with Water Commander Relics. So you've got 2 there, and you have, let's see. So you've got Daihomaru, and I guess if the concern here is takes too long to build up the maximum amount of skill points, then yes, I think you could potentially simply forego that and just, and just put in another support card. Really, support cards is where you're going to get the skill points. And if you have, but I wouldn't put in any other card in there though, to be honest with you. So like I wouldn't worry about getting the max skill points with this particular setup. I think you're going to focus more on the max power up rather than the skill points. I wouldn't worry about that. All right, so I'm gonna go back in here and make sure that I don't. So there's a couple of people that I missed a lot of names. I'm really sorry, guys. And I'm just taking a look now, and I'm seeing that I missed a lot of names. And I think the one I saw was Khaleesi Dragonheart. Yeah, I definitely I think I messed up. There were a few people that I skipped, and so I'm gonna go in the right order this time, and I want to make sure I get through everybody. So I'm gonna try and go quick here. So Khaleesi. Dragonheart. So you've got the event team as well, and you've got the Titanic Terror. So I think maybe there was something I mentioned that you're gonna try. I think what we said is we were gonna try using a relic to help you survive. Okay, so not sure if you need help there, but I'm gonna move forward to someone else that probably I've promised to help out, but I skipped over. And so the person that I said, Huntress Elisa Minra, that's the one. Huntress. And, if I do miss you, and I really don't intend to, just, let me know, and I will try my best to reach out to you afterwards, or you can always, reach out to me with a screenshot of the team that you are using, and we can kind of discuss and talk about, we can talk about it. So Water Commander, I like this deck already. Like, as you know, I also use the Goddess of the Surf there, so I think that right there is a good option. And I see that you're using Biolume. So Biolume, and you have Daihomaru, Procambrius, and Goddess of the Surf. So this is where I feel if you have 3 copies of Daihomaru, then I would recommend maybe taking one out and putting in the Procambrius instead. Or you could simply do what I did and put 3 copies of Daihomaru, 1 copy of Biolume, and 1 copy of the Procambrius, and you will see your damage really go up by a ton. I think this deck right here, as it stands, this works well if you do the following. Use Goddess of the Surf first, then use Biolume, and then use the 3 copies of Daihomaru to get that initial hit. I think if you do that, you should actually deal sufficient damage already to take out most bosses. And if you don't, then you can then use the power-up method to get more gems afterwards, and then do a big hit. So that's another option as well if you want to keep this team. I think that's fine. But adding Procambrius will be, basically that's the team I'm using. Right, so if you put in Procambrius, that's the main team I'm using to do 500% overkill against the ultra kill bosses. So I would give that a try. Okay, so you saw how I used that team just now. I would definitely go with that. And so let's see. Regent Gore Carmel is the next person. And so we got the new team. Would that be the right team? I see a lot of fire, bounty. So this is a Slayer card, Slayer deck. Yeah, so maybe this is the one I was looking at. Okay, so let's take a look. And hopefully you guys sort of have seen, you know, a pattern here to like the cards that I would definitely recommend. And I think that, you know, Goddess of the Surf, if you guys got it, if you're pulling from it, got it, great. I like it. This is a good, there's also a pretty good turn one deck there. So Tanu is going to be your healer if you need it. And let's see, are there other cards that you already have in your disposal so that you could try out? So you got Emilio, Campos, Daihomaru, and Dynamite Dougal. So yeah, I think you have I think you're doing the right things there. Definitely like the option. So I would recommend putting in a Summertime Aphrodite. So instead of putting in Tanu, I would put in a Summertime Aphrodite in there so that you can get a little bit more damage output there. And the other thing that you might consider too is, if you're playing this deck, then you'll want to try to actually time it so that Dynamite Dougal and Iron Spy Nighthorse, they will spawn gems every 3 turns. And so you want to try and time it so that you can get them to spawn, and then you could, you know, activate basically get all of your power gems together. That might be okay. But I would definitely take out Tanu and put in Summertime Aphrodite. In fact, if you put in 2 copies of Summertime Aphrodite instead of Iron Spy Nighthorse, I would put in 2 Summertime Aphrodite, Goddess of the Surf, Dynamite Dougal, and Daihomaru. That's going to give you the best output of damage for your single card of Daihomaru. So give that a try and see. And I would take out any of the I would take out the human relics that you have in here. I'd rather that you put in any Water Commander relic. Do you have Water Commander relics? If not, put in the Keda's Bow. So the first thing I would say is put in all of your Water Commander relics in there, and then put in Keda's Bow and take out the 2 non-water human relics in there so that you can get the most damage output. Right now you're not really benefiting anything from those 2 human relics because you don't need the intensity. You're not going to be using the intensity in this particular setup. You'll be able to get damage much faster than that. Okay? So we're at 927 right now. Not sure, there's probably a lot more people for sure. But I think I wanted to take a look and see what other chats there. So, Carius, nice to see you in the chat here. Sorry I missed you earlier. And is there any option to Procambrias? Procambrias, the deck for it will come on sale on Saturday. So it's going to be part of a revival deck. I might actually go for it just so I can get a second copy of Procambrias. I think it's a good investment. I think you might need to go to tier 3, so I'm not sure how much gems that's going to cost, but it is going to help. And so let's see. Victor Ogawa, yep. So we're talking about the dust. Yeah, so it doesn't cost any dust anymore to forge the ultimate form, so that's good. And Queen Femme Fatale, I think I will probably help you out after the stream here. And let's see. So Carius, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you, Carius, because you've been a big supporter for a long time. I'm definitely going to try and help you out in the stream here. Okay? So let's take a look at your cards and let's see what we got going on. So does it matter? I think it does. The question is, do you think it matters? And Li Pui Hua, I just saw you as well, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm kind of breaking sort of a little bit of the queue here by jumping right into Carius, and I'm going to take a look at the names of the people, and maybe we can spend a little bit more extra time to take a look. And I just saw Zuzu MacDuck. Apparently I skipped you, so that's my bad. So doesn't matter. Daihomaru, Keda, and Procambrias. Good so far. Melio and Dynamite Dougal. So I think Melio might be the one that I would want to find a replacement for. And what would it be if I were to replace something? probably based on this, I think what you got is good. So I would try pulling some dust if you can get at least Summertime Aphrodite, or hopefully the best would be if you can actually pull a Goddess of the Surf. That would be good. But given what we are seeing here, I think Milio's good. I'm curious if Iron Spine Night Horse would help there. But you have 4 Generation 3 decks here. And so I guess the question is, how... If the question is like, how do you play this deck, for example, then I would say with Daihomaru, a single copy of Daihomaru, it's going to take a long time for you to be able to get to the maximum power up. Really, I always recommend for this particular deck, having a second support card is going to help. So this is where, like, I typically don't ask people to spend gens, but if you're able to, if this is something that you think that you can afford, having a second support is going to be definitely very helpful. If nothing else, you can put that in your deck, and it's going to, 1, go faster, and 2, you'll deal more damage overall. But if not, then I think having Daihomaru go to maybe 10, I think 10 will be good. Right, so go up to 10. So that's 10 turns to get the to get amount up to 10, and then another 4 turns afterwards. So that's total of 14 turns. So that's already a lot. But I think with a single copy, that's probably going to be the best. And then just use the same the same sort of timing I told you to activate Procambrius right after your last activation of Daihomaru, and then make sure you activate it twice. And hopefully during this time, Keta is also going to give you, either Keta or Dynamite Dougal will give you their power gem. So I think overall you're going to get good setup. So I think this is actually not bad. This is a good setup, especially with the cards you already have. I think that's really good. So give that a try, okay? And if you're going to get a second copy, then I think you're going to find a big improvement to that deck as well. All right, so I know I skipped somebody, and that was, I skipped Zuzu Mac Duck. And I think that's one I missed. Okay, so Garsenga Steel. Event 1 and Event 2. So you got 3 Daihomaru. So this is an awesome team right there. I would take this if you can. Exultant Cane isn't really helping too much. You really need to do the following for this to be effective. 1, you need to get this evolved to a Water Scepter, and 2, you need to get the level to at least level 30. So really, even though I say that, just put in a Water Scepter, really, like, if you need the health, getting it to level 30 plus getting it to a Water Scepter is going to be optimal. You don't have to, but it's going to help a lot. So your Event 2 deck is already really great. Can't say anything wrong about that. Honestly, unless you have another card that can, like, unless you have Bioloom. If you have Bioloom, I would say put that in. And since you don't, I would keep that. I would use your Event 2 deck. Take out the basically try to upgrade it to a Scepter if you can. And if you can't, then try to level up a little bit, so that you can actually get improved heal from it. Otherwise, it will not be quite, different enough for you to really notice it. All right, so the last one of the night, I'm going to take a look at Barajan the Red. And if I did accidentally miss anybody from before in the stream, apologies. This is going to be the last one I'm going to go with, but let me know if I missed you, and you will be the first one in the stream for sure, or I will work with you offline and we can message on the network app. Okay. So I see already you have 2 copies of the Surf of Goddess. And you have Melio. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't like Melio very much. Like, there are some of the water support cards I just like, kind of meh about. Just because all the options that are there is so much better, that I kind of feel like, is it better? So you have Daihomaru, Bioloom, Procambrius, 2 copies of 3 yeah, so a fun deck. A fun deck would be 2 copies of Goddess of the Surf, put in actually a Summertime Aphrodite. So make your Bioloom be the leader. Replace Melio with Summertime Aphrodite and basically just activate from right to left. And I think that's going to be a fun turn 2 deck. Okay. How you have it set up is fine too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But what you'll see is with Summertime Aphrodite, you're going to get 6 additional power gems that way, and that's going to help with some of your damage output as well. So I would definitely give it a try. And you have a Cane in here right now, but you don't have any cards that's actually healing you. So I would say that with that particular team may not be the right relic for you. And so instead, what I would do is if you don't have enough of the Water Commander relics, just put in another Cadis Bow. You're going to deal a little bit more damage, and your health overall will be a little bit higher. So Canes are really only good if your deck already has a passive heal. If it doesn't, then it's not going to help you as much. And so I would rather take it out in favor of some damage dealer. Okay, and so let's see. So I think I'm done with the I'm going to stay around a little bit more for chats, but I think I'm done with the deck help for now. So like I said, if I missed you and I just saw it, so Garrett Castle, I'm really, really, really sorry. Apologize for that. Let me know afterwards. I can work with you offline after the stream to help you with your deck. Okay, but what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to finish up the Ultra Kill boss as well. So 19, I think I can actually do this. I think I can actually use 1 key still for overkill. And so Gandhi of Gabaldi, if given the option with the event deck, would I put in Procambrius in place of any event cards? Yeah, Procambrius is one of those cards that you have to realize just what kind of output you're talking about here, and it also depends on what event deck you're talking. If you're talking about like a full event deck, then maybe it's not necessary, right? But overall, like I would put in. I would put a Procambrius in over any other regular event card. So like if you're just like a regular event deck, for example, like Mega Sentinel would be an option. I would say maybe you can consider replacing that with a Procambrius just because you're getting the damage output buff. And so, 4 power gems isn't really going to do that. And sort of the difference is, it's a difference of 6 commander boosts. I don't think it's going to outweigh the additional sort of stacked damage output that Procambrius will provide. So my personal feeling is I would totally in a heartbeat put that in a deck. Like I always put him in any deck that I can think of. All right, so basically I'm using 1 key here, and you can see I don't have a scepter, and so I'm not healing as much as I could, but I do heal just fine here, and so I do need to speed up a little bit. Talking a little bit too much. Okay, so now I've got everything going on, so we're gonna go ahead and activate. Oh, I didn't match enough gems. So that's the thing I was talking. I didn't match the water gems. Otherwise, I could have activated him twice. But with a single stack of constricted, hopefully this is going to be enough for me to deal enough damage for overkill. And it looks like I will be able to. So this is 1 key against a level 219, overkill boss with that particular setup. And this is like, I don't need to buy a deck here. I could just go for this pretty easily. All right, so here's what I sort of wanted to end the stream. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the ultra kill and see if we can maybe get a tome. So like I haven't seen a tome in quite a few events now. It's still available. I know people still pull it, but it's now one of the most rare items in the event. I swear to God, it's just I cannot find it. Like for so many events now, I've been trying, and I have a single one. I've just got the single tome that I pulled from the actual. From a ultra kill boss, but I haven't seen one since. I'm not sure if you guys get them still, but I've been looking for one for a while and I can't get it. And it's what you needed in order to get the in order to forge an ultra rare card. So unfortunately, it's just not available. All right, what am I missing in the chats here? So Falconer Haven V. What is the question here? What's a good water gem spawner, commander, or slayer? So there's a lot of water gem spawner. A Skuka is a good gem spawner. That's actually one that I didn't show, but it works really well. for Slayers, like there's a lot of options actually. Like since Generation 2, like there's a lot more now. But I think, you know, for Generation 3, it's less about the spawner, but more about like, you know, I would say the gem destroyers are going to be a better choice for you. So let's see. Okay, so now that I've activated, I'm going to go ahead and activate this, and I need to remember to do a gem match so that I could actually get my two things. I need to get my skill to 300, and I also need to make sure that I get my Procambrius powered up. Okay, so one more turn, and I should be able to activate everything, and you can see just how much damage I can deal here. And sometimes, like if I get lucky, like, you know, I get also more drops, so like there's more power gems that are created. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and do this here, and I'm gonna show you something cool. So I'm gonna do this swap right here. I guess it's too late. I kind of wanted to show you guys this little trick on, like, you can expect where your power gem is going to end up depending on the direction that you actually do a match. And I'm going to show you this next. So let's see, we got our ultra kill. What do we have here? 100 million points, so not a tome. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys right now what I'm talking about, and use turn 1. That's fine. Yeah, so Gary, I think message me on the network app afterwards, and I can work with you offline. And again, anybody else I missed, feel free to message me, and we will talk afterwards as well. Although I'm probably going to be doing something a little bit different, a little bit different after this. But I'll definitely get back to you. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is, you can figure out where your power gem is going to be. So if you do any gem swaps from right to left or up and down, it's always going to go in the direction to the left side. So what I did was I did a gem swap that is horizontal. If you do a horizontal match, the power gem is always going to end up on the left side of where you did the swap. And the only time that's going to be different is if you do a diagonal downwards from top left to bottom right. Not sure, it's like a little bit trivia thing, and I thought I'd just share with you guys. Not sure if you guys care, but if there's ever a time where you wanted your power gem to land a specific spot, so like for me, I always wanted to try and land in the middle because it gives me the most possibility for the gems to drop and connect more so I can get more damage. And so if I want to try and keep all of my gems in the middle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from top right down to bottom, top left to bottom right, and I'm going to do the two power gem 3 swaps. So if you see, if I go in this direction, going from top left to bottom right, it ends up on the right side. So I can always know which direction my power gem is going to be created in. So I can always keep it in the middle if I wanted to. So just a little bit of a trick that I'm not sure many people know about. Just wanted to share with you guys, so you can go ahead and teach it to others as well. One of the most useless trivia information for the game, but I kind of figured out a while ago, and I've never had a chance to share that. So let's see if there's anyone else, any other questions there. Victor Ogawa, by the time you get 15 stacks of power up with Josephine Quick Draw, you can activate Josephine, get a Resilient debuff, and with 40 billion one key. Yeah, that's really good, right? So Josephine is still a really good card there. And I did hear about the crashes, so I'm not sure there's something going on, but hopefully they'll have that fixed up. All right, Chroma sucks. Yeah, so Burgess, Clivis, Tresk. Yes, so for my request to anybody who is still on the stream, I know I missed you, and I really apologize for that. Just message me on the app, and we can talk about it, and I'll give you my recommendation afterwards. And what I'll do is I'll take a look at your cards, and then I'll give you my recommendation offline. It won't be in the stream. And for everybody else, I think this is pretty much going to be it for the stream. So thanks so much for your time. Please, leave a comment below and let me know of, your experience. If I've helped you, if that helped, if the deck ideas helped you out, let me know. And if there's any other feedback, anything, like in terms of changes you like to see, the layout for, so I'm experimenting with layout as well, whatever, whatever things that you want to do. And I guess I could end with a dust pull. So I'll put this in the time as well. So it's 9:40. I guess how long is the stream going on for? Yeah. So what I'll do is let's do some dust pull and let's see what we get. And so see you later, Vishal. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream with basically a dust pull, and we'll see. We are at 15,748. So I guess what I'll do is I'll pull down to either 15 or 14,000 dust, and we'll see what we get. And basically, this is just a series of tabs. I mean, I'll be really happy if I pull another surface goddess of surf. Oh, and also the other thing that I think you guys might have noticed is that there is actually no Slayer ultra rare in the pulls here. All the ultra rare cards that you have seen, that we have seen, are going to be commander cards. So that's one thing that we've noticed and we've called out, and we've asked that question of, hey, when are the Slayer ultra rares going to be in the in the dust pool? So we're hoping it's going to be updated for the next time. We'll see. And Xiaolian, you actually stayed up the whole time. That's awesome. I think school being out is definitely helping. All right, so I didn't pay attention if any of them. And also, like, what I've also been doing is, like, when I get copies of Orsang, I just level it up and I basically upgrade my existing copies of that. Same thing with Summertime Aphrodite. I've been upgrading my current copies of Summertime with her just so I can get more damage from her as well. Yeah, so right now I don't think I've seen any. So let's go down to 14.5. I think that's probably a good amount. And that's about when my thumb is going to get really sore. And so I think we can get there pretty soon. So good night. So yeah, so at this point I'm just going to be doing a bunch of pulls. See if we can pull another copy of the... Oh, I actually, I think I showed you guys. I pulled 2 mummies like back to back. So that was pretty cool. I didn't pull him or pull her, all day yesterday. And just today in like 10 minutes span of 10 minutes, I actually pulled 2 of them. So I now have 3 copies of the mummy. I just can't evolve it anymore because I don't have any catalyst for that. And so we're at 14.5 and we'll end right here. Okay. So now we can go back. I don't think I pulled anything. I don't think I got anything this time. So that was only 63. Normally I would stop after about like 300. So I think I'll pull about 300 cards or so. So let's see. Let's go ahead and change it to age, and let's see what we got here. So Vena, Apep, so like all of these cards I basically just dust right away. And this one's a loss of dust there. Freya, Wicked Witch. All of these things are cards that I would just dust right away. No ultra rare card. If I were to look for an ultra rare card at this point, I really want just my additional copy of Goddess of the Surfs. Again, I'm going to save those other cards because I'm going to awaken them. But otherwise, it looks like it's going to be... Yeah, so basically nothing there. But, I'll basically try this again. And I did pull a Razor Nymph, although I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her because she doesn't actually help any of my existing cards. It was just kind of nice to see her there. So anyways, so that was basically my my stream here, and did some pulls. Didn't get anything good there, but I'll continue to try and hope you guys get good luck with your cards as well. So thanks a lot. Have a good night, and I will talk to you in the next episode. All right. See ya. Bye.